This is Rico with Non-Victim Nation, and I'm here with EJ Snyder.
What's going on?
One of the greatest survivalists ever on the planet. So was fortunate enough to run into you today. And,
yeah, absolutely.
And wanted to find out kind of like what you've got going on here at the SHOT Show.
Shoo, man, I got so much going on. It's probably too much to list, but the big thing is, here with my guys at Tops Knives. I've designed 2 knives with Tops, the SXB, Skull Crusher Extreme Blade, and the Skull Crusher Extreme Sidekick, the XS, tongue twister. Because every great action hero needs a sidekick. So we're doing a few other knife projects coming up. So I come out to SHOT Show most every year I can, and I'm meeting with a lot of suppliers because I've got Freedom 75 up, I've got Survival Mastery stood up. We're actually setting up stores in both of those 2 businesses. I am a partial owner or co-owner in. And like I said, I've got a lot of things going on. So being here, I get to see a lot of old friends, make new friends, make connections. So I'm here business this year quite a bit.
Right.
As soon as we're done, I'll be running the floor for 4 hours to finish up a whole lot of connections. So yeah, SHOT Show's wide open this year. Glad to be back. 2025. It's been 2 years, so it's really feels great to be back.
There you go. Also earlier, you provided me with a copy of your book here, which is very interesting. I'll be interested to read that.
Yeah, yes, sir. Emergency Home Preparedness, it birthed from if you go to ejsnyder.com, you can find out everything about me, link up with my social medias, but on there we were making videos and we were selling videos. And the one video I really wanted to get out to the everyday Joe or Joan was the ultimate bug-in and home defense guide. Because what we found out during the pandemic, 90% of the world stayed home.
Right.
10% bugged out. Half of that 10%, all they did was bug out to go bug in somewhere else. There's about 5% of the people like me that'll go to the woods and stay there. So people didn't know what to do. They didn't know how to get their apartments ready. Like, for instance, I had a kid, he was in an urban area in the city. He's like, well, what do I do? I says, well, how many rooms do you need? Well, I've got my wife and I got a kid. All right, so you need 2-bedroom apartment. Get a 3-bedroom apartment. Turn your 3rd bedroom into your storage facility for your food, your fresh water, all your supplies. So I wanted the everyday Joe or Joan to have a guide to be able to do that. And we set up this film, and then they started asking us, hey, is there a book or a pamphlet on this stuff, a circular? And I had my COO at the time, Jesse Wilbur from Survival Summit. We decided to co-author, produce a book. And we figured out how to take the film, turn it into a book. I added some stories and whatever, and we birthed this book. It came out in October. It's a bestseller on Amazon in 5 categories.
Awesome.
And it gets you ready for the next pandemic, a natural disaster, even war, zombie apocalypse, you name it. That book is, because when you're preparing your home, you set the basics, just like the core 4 survival: shelter, food, water, fire, and you hit those things. And the first thing you do is inventory everything you got. What do I need? What can I afford? And you start making a plan towards it. Everything comes down to a plan.
Right.
And once you set the base, then you add in the what I call the environmental concerns. Oh, it's going to be a blizzard. What do I need for winter items? Oh, it's a hurricane.
Right.
What do I need for flood items and to take care of a hurricane if the power goes out? So you add those other specialty things to the list, and then you're good to go. So. It's a basis to start your building blocks. And so I'm really proud of that book. It's my first published book. I've written thousands of articles through many, many magazines, but this is my first book.
I'm definitely looking forward to like reading that, and I would. We talked previously about having you on the podcast. So
Oh,
we can
absolutely.
go into that in more in depth and
Yeah,
even more.
I love doing podcasts. I want to run one myself. I just can't find the time to carve it out.
Right.
So I really put myself out there to be a guest on as many podcasts as I can. So I'm looking forward to it, Rico. It's been a pleasure to meet you and the crew. Talking Guns, they've been good friends of mine for years. I've done a lot of their. They share my stuff, and I've done their podcast. And I'm looking forward to hearing more about Non-Victim Nation. And remember, folks, don't be a victim. Be very aware. Be the tip of the spear, and always be ready, and survive on.